Hello, today I'm going to show you a long time review of my Rhinoshield CrashGuard. Hey, today I tell you about my experiences with the Rhinoshield CrashGuard. I have been using the bumper on my OnePlus 7 Pro for 1.5 years and would now like to share my experiences with you. For me, this case was the first Rhinoshield case I personally used. In the past years, I was scared by Rhinoshield's higher prices for their covers. There are many other covers for less money. But when I bought my OnePlus 7 Pro, I got over to using a Rhinoshield case. Back then, I decided to use the CrashGuard with an open back. I liked the back cover color of my OnePlus so much that I didn't want to hide it. But of course, I also had concerns about the safety of my device, because the back is exposed in the event of a fall. But here is a quick look back at how the CrashGuard was delivered. As you can see, Rhinoshield delivered the bumper in a nice black and yellow box. There wasn't a lot of accessories in the box. Just a small note with thank you. For comparison, a standard cover that I received free of charge with my OnePlus. I used it for a short time and as you can see, the cover has already turned a bit yellow. But it would do its job of protecting the device. But unfortunately, it isn't visually usable. Now let's take a closer look at the Rhinoshield CrashGuard. On one side is the Rhinoshield logo. A little further up, there are a few buttons. These work perfectly and have never caused problems in the past 1.5 years. The slider worked great too. The frame also doesn't cover anything on the screen. The frame naturally encloses the device somewhat. But without this, it would not hold on the device after all. But when the frame is mounted, you don't have to worry about the device falling out of the frame. Even when I fell, my smartphone always stayed within its case. There is also enough space on the underside to load the device with the frame. There are even recesses all around for the loudspeakers, microphones and camera. The smartphone therefore works perfectly. I will now take the smartphone out of the case to show you the CrashGuard in more detail. But be careful, the phone can only be removed and inserted one way. But you notice this very quickly, it is much more difficult to move in one direction than in the other. The frame itself is made of relatively hard plastic that is still flexible and elastic. As you can see, I can easily twist and bend the frame in all possible directions. If you look into the inside of the frame, you will discover a honeycomb pattern all around. This is intended to reduce the contact area of the device and thus form a buffer for blows. But of course, I have to say that over the time dirt tends to accumulate there. Therefore, the frame should be removed and cleaned regularly. As you can see here, is even the slider firmly mounted in the frame. So you don't need to be afraid that it will be lost or out of line. If you want to mount the frame on your phone, the slider must be in the correct position. Then you just have to push the device into the frame with a little pressure. But as I said, this is only indeed from one side. For me, the frame is put on from behind. Unfortunately, I cannot say whether this is the same for all smartphone models. Now the frame is tight again and protects my OnePlus. And all the buttons work perfectly too. Just a little detail. If you take a closer look at the frame, so you can see that this is a bit thicker on the top and bottom. This is therefore that your display and back cover are protected when your phone falls on the floor or lies flat on the table. Because the raised area always touches the floor and table first, and your smartphone display is super protected. Even if you let the smartphone slide around on the table, only the guard ever touches the table. Here you can also see a few small fall marks on my frame. Otherwise, the frame has only minimal signs of wear and tear after all this time. So, to my conclusion. Well, what can I say great about that? I think the CrashGuard is great. I would use it again on my next smartphone. The price is a bit higher than that of other manufacturers, but it is enough if I just buy one piece of it. With my transparent cover I should have bought at least a second one. But of course you have to consider that the device increases in size with such a cover. But if you don't mind, you are definitely not doing anything wrong here. But it is important to note that with such an open cover, your device shouldn't fall on a stone or other angular objects. Here your phone can't be saved by the guard. It only helps you if you drop it onto the edge or on a flat floor. If the device lands on a stone with the display or back cover first, so this will clearly break. But for all other cases with normal use, it offers sufficient protection. Hence my recommendation. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, here you might find another video from our channel that you might like. Until next time.